Welcome back to Good Things. Don't forget we're streaming live over at SuperTalk.fm, but it's Friday here, so we got Tanya in the house. And since last Friday, Tanya, speaking of Gladiator, I finally went with a girlfriend last Friday to see it after work, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for so many reasons. And so if you are a fan of the first one and you just haven't made time, I highly encourage seeing it on the big screen. And it was a good, I enjoyed it. Not so much, I'd go back with the right friend who wanted to see it again, in that way. Like, I would support them if they wanted to see it, but I'm not rushing back to watch it again. Yeah. But I will watch it streaming when it comes back out. That's how much I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, I loved it too. I thought it was so well done.
Yeah, so not me. Like, I wasn't so late to this party, but I'm sure I was just barely late because it's getting time for them to probably transition that one out.
Yeah.
New one's coming in. But anywho, people probably have already seen that if they wanted to, but if not, get to it. But what else is coming up this week?
Well, this weekend we've got 2 releases in the theater. The first one's Wolfman. We talked a little bit about this one a couple of weeks ago, but it's, just a good old horror movie. To me, this is in that genre of classic horror. It's not a slasher film or, that seems to be released every weekend. This is like a true horror film about a family whose the dad, transitions to a wolf, and his wife and daughter have to
figure it out.
Yeah, have to try to survive him. So I will not be seeing this because if I do, I will be having nightmares for days and weeks to come.
Every time, I'm right there with you.
But I feel like it's got, I feel like if you love horror, you're going to love this one.
Which I didn't realize what an underground audience there is for just horror flicks.
Yeah. There's a big audience, and they come out. So I feel like this movie will do well this weekend.
Well, good for them.
And then the other one is a comedy, kind of a buddy comedy, starring Keke Palmer and SZA, the musician.
I just appreciate you saying that.
This is her film debut, and it's about these 2 friends who one of their boyfriends steals their rent money, and so they're having to get out there and try to make things happen before they get evicted. But I've seen so many previews for this one, and I love Keke Palmer. I think she can do anything. She won an Emmy for hosting the game show Password, the reboot with Jimmy Fallon. And she's just so talented. She can sing, she can act. So I think it'll be a fun, laugh out loud kind of movie. And probably one that definitely you wouldn't want to take the kids. Not that they would want to go see that one. But the movie that I was most excited about this weekend is actually streaming. So if you have Netflix, you can catch it at home. And it's Back in Action. And this is the movie that got Cameron Diaz out of retirement. She has not made a film in 10 years, which is hard to believe.
Was that intentional?
I think so. I think she was starting her family and just wanted to focus on that. But let me tell you, during the holidays, I did the holiday rewatch, as I do. That's kind of my tradition.
It's a good movie.
It is wonderful. And this movie starts off, and I'm thinking, oh, she's going to look old. She looks exactly the same. She has not aged. And, Holiday is like 20 years old now. But she looks great. Jamie Foxx looks great. This is the film that he was making when he had his medical event.
Stroke. We know now it's a stroke of some kind.
Yeah. And so they had to halt production. They were able to continue filming some things with a body double. And then when he recovered and, was able to come back on set, they finished filming it. So it took a long time to get this one. And the writer's strike was right in the middle of all of that, too. But let me tell you, I did get to watch it. Streaming spy movies seem to be a thing. And that's what this one's about. They are spies who get teamed up together. And when we meet them, they're already a couple. But during a mission, they find out that she's pregnant, and so they decide, okay, we want to just get out of this world because we want our kids to be safe. We want to build a family. And so they have an out. I won't spoil it, but they're able to go and hide and raise a family. And so we see them today, and they're just the average nerdy parents. Their kids can't stand them, and anyway, they're trying to, be their friends and find out what's going on, and the kids don't want to talk to them, just typical teenager kind of stuff. When all of the sudden they're forced to go back into the spy world. And Glenn Close is also in it. And, she's plays a really good part. But it's so much fun. Andrew Scott is in it, who is like Mr. Television actor right now. And anyway, I felt like it was almost like a live action Incredibles. The Incredibles movie, how the family has to come together to make things happen. That's kind of how I felt. And it's fun to see Cameron Diaz and Jamie Foxx together. They have such good chemistry. And this is the third movie they've done together. Any Given Sunday, they did. And then Annie, they were both in that one. So this is the first time that we've seen them in this genre together.
I like Jamie Foxx too. He's just funny.
He is.
Naturally.
And it was just perfect, this movie. I felt like he was the comedic relief by far. And I just loved his character. I was like, this is a guy that I would be friends with, But I just thought it was really a fun movie. The family can watch it. Really great action scenes. I don't remember any language, and I might have missed it, but I feel like, it's a fun one to catch.
And that's on Netflix, right?
It's on Netflix. So especially right now when the weather gets really cold and you're kind of stuck inside, this is a good one to check out.
Jeff wants to know if you have seen American Primeval.
I have not.
On Netflix yet.
No.
So he thinks it's a miniseries.
Okay, I was going to say it popped up on my queue. I saw the picture for it, but I have not watched it.
Well, there's something something else to watch, I'm sure.
That's
what else
right.
You got?
Well, there's one that I have come in here every week to talk about, and I forget, and I want our listeners to go to watch this movie. It is also on Netflix, but it's called The 6888, directed by Tyler Perry. Not the Tyler Perry movies we're used to seeing, totally different. This is about a group of women who served our country in World War II. Not only were they women, but they were African American women, and they were tasked with going to Europe and sorting thousands and thousands of letters and getting them to our troops. And, that they were sent there to fail, but not only did they do it, they were given 6 months they just had these buildings just full of mail bags, and they could not figure out how to sort it and get them, because the guys were scattered everywhere. And these ladies went in there and they got to work. And not only did they get it done, but they got it done within 3 months. And it's just an incredible story. And a true story. And anyway, I just was very impressed with the acting. Kerry Washington is in it. I thought Tyler Perry did such a great job directing it. But definitely check it out.
How sad it would have been if those letters didn't make it.
I know. And that's what they, emphasized how important these letters were, because, their families back home had no idea what was going on. And then they had no idea what was going on. It's like they were shut off from their loved ones. And it was just a big morale booster. They knew how important that was in the fight. So it's just incredible. A great true story.
That, phones, text messages, all that stuff, internet, before all of that, it really was. If you didn't get the mail then you weren't able to communicate. So, and that's on Netflix, you said?
It is on Netflix, and a great cast, so definitely check it out. And then next week, The Brutalist is coming out. So you were talking about watching Gladiator on the big screen, the Brutalist is so long.
Oh, God.
And now let me tell you, it is getting award after award. It is so long that it's got a built-in intermission.
At the big screen?
Yes.
Longer than Dune?
Yes. So I'll be seeing it this week, and I'll report back next week on what it's like.
That's crazy.
Everything I've heard so far is it's worth it. It goes by so fast. Kind of makes me think of Oppenheimer. That was a long one, but it just flew by.
Well, you'll have to report back to us next Friday,
Yes.
Tanya. All right, stick with us. We got a few more good things.